Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 38th annual convention, and welcome to the City of Angels. I'm Monica Byrne-Jimenez, Executive Director of UCEA, and I just wanted to extend a warm welcome on behalf of the Executive Committee, of the Michigan State Headquarters, and of myself, and to give a deep thanks to our this year's Convention Planning Committee, whom you will meet a couple of times during the week, during the next few days. And I just want to say that today in particular, our first sort of general session coming together, we really want to hit that joy note really hard. So I'm proud to introduce my friend and colleague, Matt Militello.
Good afternoon. So on behalf of this year's Planning Committee, President-elect Karen Beard from Ohio State, Rebecca Chung, UC Berkeley, award-winning UC Berkeley, and Nate Stewart, University of Minnesota, and my name is Matt Militello, representing the Pirates of East Carolina University. Go Pirates. I'm excited to kick off this year's convening. The Planning Committee has worked to create an engaging and timely learning space. We come together on the heels of an election that necessitates space for hope and healing. This was not lost on us over a year ago when we started to plan this year's convening. Our conference theme, Renewing Our Engagement, Leading Schools and Communities with Justice and Joy, provides time and space for us to engage with empirical research, as well as informal conversations with our colleagues to gather the necessary evidence and allies in our continued advancement toward equity and justice. I want to begin our time together with two things. First, an acknowledgement of the power of place, the place where we come together, and its rich history. And second, the wisdom of people, specifically infusing joy into the room with a student performance. To truly honor the land and privilege here, we sought an artistic representation in place of a traditional logo for this year's conference. Logos try to represent the power of place and wisdom of people, but often fall short of representation at best and misappropriate at worst. Art provides a different lens that can help us find light in times of darkness, to find hope when justice is needed. To honor the land of our ancestors, including the original inhabitants of this area, the Tongva and Chumash, and later in the 1700s with the first 14 families from northern Mexico who established a farming community here, and then overland migration from the east, as well from Mexico and Asia, we honor the native people and the multiple changes of sovereignty culminating in statehood in 1849. We are in the land of riches, fertile ground with a wealth of assets. This wealth is not a result of the arrival of Hollywood, but because of the ancestors who nurtured cultural gifts. We are in the center of avant-garde cuisine, not because of Wolfgang Puck, but because of the seeds of our native ancestors and the tilling labor of the United Farm Workers. We are in the land of languages, in spite of attempts to dismantle them. We are in the land of plenty because of our aunties and uncles, our abuelos, abuelas, and our mothers and fathers. To represent this, we are honored to have the permission from Judith Baca, recipient of the National Medal of Arts, to have her 2021 mural panels for the convention artwork. Dr. Baca turned forgotten histories into public memory, pioneering an art form that empowers communities to reclaim public space in dignity and pride. The panels honor the community which had to resist settlers and colonial rule. The panels also represent the activists who sought to repair the repercussions of occupation. The last panel aims to reconcile the history with the promise and hope of higher education. That's our work. We encourage you to visit the mural in Westwood, as well as the downtown mural, the Great Wall of Los Angeles. This mural is one of the Los Angeles' true cultural landmarks and one of the country's most significant monuments to interracial harmony. To truly honor Southern California, we must see for ourselves, listen to our elders and community members, economically support the communities that have been marginalized and silenced. And in turn, we must be reminded to do the same thing at our home institutions. We must recognize missing voices, those not present, as a call to do better. To live this challenge and to bring joy into the room, we are so very excited to have the gifts and assets of high school students with us today. This week, our sessions begin with performances by the Ramon C. Cortinas School of Visual and Performing Arts. The Cortina School is a dual-mission high school dedicated to providing aspiring artists and scholars with an academically rigorous pre-college curriculum and a comprehensive pre-conservatory arts program. Just down the street, situated on Grand Avenue, the school offers the highest caliber of arts, integrated education, and the opportunity to access the rich cultural vibrancy of the Los Angeles arts community. So please help me give a hearty UCEA welcome to our 3 students, Levi, Christy, and Ruby.
Hello, everyone. As you said, we go to high school just down the road, and we're really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. We're all in the Music Academy, so we've prepared 2 songs for you. The first one is Best Part, and the second one is Coming Home.
Kiss me slowly, it's the sweetest thing, and it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're the sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me, give it all. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. Oh, nowhere to see it, I know you're a star. Where you go, I follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part is the sunrise in those brown eyes. You're the one I desire. When we wake up and we make love, you make me feel so nice. You're the water when I'm stuck in the desert. You're the Tylenol I take when my head hurts. You're the sunshine of my life. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. Nowhere to see it, I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part. If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Ooh, your sweet, tender loving. You're my one only woman. The world leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, girl. You're the only one that I wanna be around. Baby, I would be grieving if you left me alone, all alone here by myself. I don't want nobody else. The world leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, girl. You're the only one that I wanna be around. Baby, baby, I'm coming home to your sweet, tender loving. You're my one and only woman. The world leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, girl. You're the only one that I wanna be around. Wanna be around, girl. Who wanna be around? Who wanna be around? Ooh, I need you, baby, girl. I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Oh, I'm coming home. Oh, I'm coming home. Yes, baby, I'm coming home.
A special thanks to the Cortinas Music School. We really appreciate you joining in with us and bringing joy to us throughout the entire conference. Welcome, 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 and good afternoon. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the 38th 38th UCA Convention, and it's always a joy to return home. So thank you very much for that song. That was very beautiful. This conference is happening here in the sunny, warm, vibrant, culturally diverse beauty of LA. In my mind, that's no coincidence. This focus at this time and this conference in the City of Angels provides perspective renewal and engagement opportunities as we imagine ways to lead our schools and our nation's children and students to celestial heights. We are especially excited about being in community and sharing the next few days with you after we have done all we can, and we now can return our focus to that over which we have control, for our own peace of mind and from where our joy can emerge. The American Academy of Pediatrics has been sounding the alarm on mental health issues for some time. In 2021, the alarm advanced to a siren and an emergency in children's mental health. We are focused on making sure that we build the strongest schools that we can in our nation for all of our children. However, race continues to plague the academic achievement and well-being of our nation's students. Data continues to inform the direction of research to advance the quality of life for the least of these. Black student academic achievement and well-being has been guided by many scholars we all know well. Most recently, these streams of my own research have led me to the work of Brendesha Tynes. In my invitation to her to join us, I wanted to ensure that we all knew the very important research that she does that informs the work of scholars, policymakers, practitioners positioned to support and uplift our children and our collective future. I was excited to see and receive her talk title, From Research Practice Using Afrofuturism, Development Theory to Design for Justice and Joy in Schools. Before Dr. Tynes brings her voice forward, it is my honor and privilege to present to some and introduce to others Dr. Jelando Jackson, the Dean of Michigan State University College of Education, the Michigan State University Research Foundation Professor, also affectionately referred to as the UCEA Dean. Dean Jackson will introduce the Mitstifer lecturer, Brendesha Tynes, to you. But before he does that, I have a few words about him. Dr. Jackson is the 9th Dean of Michigan State University College of Education, the MSU Research Foundation Professor of Education and Director of Chief Research Scientist of the Organizational Disparities Laboratory. For nearly 30 consecutive years, MSU has been ranked a top public college of education with academic programs in education, health, and well-being. MSU College of Education has 10 programs ranked in the top 15, with 3 ranked at number 1. 6 in the top 5, and 8 in the top 10. As Dean Jackson is committed to continuing the MSU College of Education's rich legacy of leadership, scholarship, and service, with a keen focus on interdisciplinary and cross-college collaboration with a defined state, national, and global footprint through key partnerships. Since assuming the deanship in July 2022, Dean Jackson has ushered the college through the finalization of a strategic plan and strengthened relationships with the MSU College of Natural Science and the MSU Health Science, resulting in new initiatives, in particular the Advancing Education with Science Strategic Priority Positions, strategically priority positions the college to lead in the area of virtual education, intelligence, classroom design, and utility, artificial intelligence in education, STEM education, and VAX-R, the mixed application of virtual reality, augmented reality, and extended reality to create industry-changing teaching and learning experiences. The initiative creates new opportunities with MSU's College of Natural Science, College of Communication of Arts and Sciences, College of Engineering, the Lyman Briggs College, College of Social Science, and external partners, including Great Lakes Virtual Reality. Prior to joining Michigan State University in 2022, Dean Jackson held both the Rupel Bascom Professor of Education and Villas Distinguished Professor of Higher Education at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He also served as the chair of the Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis Department and the director of Chief Research Scientist of Wisconsin's Equity and Inclusion Laboratory. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Dean Gerlando F. L. Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the pleasure to introduce the keynote address. Dr. Brendesha Tynes is a developmental educational psychologist whose transdisciplinary research focuses on critical digital literacy, the design of digital mental health interventions that empower young people, and the impact of online race-related experiences on academic, mental health, and behavioral outcomes. She is currently a professor of education and psychology at the University of Southern California and the founding director of the Center for Empowerment Learning and Development with Technology. Her work has been funded by the National Institutes of Health and the National Science Foundation, the Spencer Foundation, and the National Council for Black Studies. She was awarded the Lyle Spencer Award to transform education, which allowed her to conduct the National Survey of Critical Digital Literacy, the first longitudinal study of the protective function of critical digital literacy skills in the association between traumatic race-related events online and the mental health outcomes. An article highlighting Dr. Tynes' foundational contributions to the field was published in the American Psychologist in 2023. She is the recipient of numerous research awards, including the pre-doctoral as well as the postdoctoral fellowships for Ford, the American Education Research Association Early Career Award, the Spencer Foundation Mid-Career Award, and an American Psychological Association Presidential Citation. She was also in the 2022 cohort of AERA Research Fellows, the 2023 cohort of APA Fellows, and a recipient of the National Institutes of Health Directors Transformative Research Award in 2023, which has given to exceptionally creative and innovative scientists. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Tynes.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to see you. I'm excited to be here and delivering this keynote address. Thank you, President Beard. This was actually a shock because for the past 20 plus years, I've studied online racism, the racial landscape that adolescents navigate, and how those experiences are related to academic, mental health, and behavioral outcomes. And as you can imagine, that doesn't exactly lend itself to a talk on justice and joy. But I do actually have something. And the reason I do is because over the past 20 years, alongside my academic work, I've done community work, and for 7 years the past 7 years, I've tried to co-found a school. I will tell you in the hallway, like, what really happened. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the process up here, and then if you want the lowdown, I'll give that to you later. So, and also, as Dr. Jackson mentioned, I also have a large grant from NIH to design a digital literacy and mental health platform, and that project is filled with examples of justice and joy. So I'm gonna talk about that today as well. So despite the book bans, threats to close the Department of Education, I honestly believe we may have an opportunity for us to finally design for justice and joy for all students, and Black students in particular. And I hope you will, if not agree with me, sort of see why I believe that's the case by the end of the talk. Okay. So, how is it that Black students are at the lowest end of just about every academic and well-being indicator across school districts in the country, and they're at the very top of the the negative indicators like school dropouts and things like that, suspensions. But their culture and creativity drives the economy in some ways. Like the culture is consumed globally, right? The world knows about Black kids, Black people's creativity, but it's not being assessed. They're going to schools daily, and basically, I think they're walking miracles because they're in the schools, and a lot of times the teachers don't have the cultural competence to actually teach them. The systems are anti-Black. They can't be their whole self. So I honestly am baffled at the disconnect. And so I draw on Afrofuturism because Afrofuturism, especially in its early iterations, it acknowledged that Black people have this technological prowess, they have the creativity, and this is as the media and some research portrayed Black people from a deficit perspective, their technology use from a deficit perspective. And so it's been, Afrofuturism has been described as an aesthetic, an intervention, and a movement. It counters dystopian realities and encourages people to imagine and create worlds free of oppression. Young people can view present oppressive conditions, I guess, and us older folks too, with an orientation toward Black liberation that is buoyed by past liberation movements. We've been here. Our ancestors have gone through worse and survived. We have the spiritual power to endure. When I talk about justice. I mean racial justice. And I'm drawing on NEA's definition that defines it as the systematic, fair treatment of people of all races, resulting in equitable opportunities and outcomes for all. It's not just the absence of discrimination and inequities, but also the presence of deliberate systems and supports to achieve and sustain racial equity. So for me, this is, having your culture centered in the ways that majority groups, kids, are centered. Their history, their culture. Only we don't need the, propagandized views of Black history. We just need an accurate view. And we want people to be able to go to school and feel like they belong. I'm also using Helen Neville's work on justice, joy, and healing. She talks about joy as being both the meaning and the fuel of life. Even in the face of oppression and obstacles, people experience joy. She goes on to cite a presentation by Dr. Tamar Bryant and says, throughout her powerful sermon on joy, Bryant evoked a divine joy, a deep sense of peace, and spiritual connection to self, others, and a higher power. A joy rooted in faith, love, and our capacity for growth. I'm also thinking about joy as an act of resistance and a superpower that we all need to cultivate. I was raised in the great city of Detroit. What up, though? That's what we say. That's our saying. Where I had countless opportunities to practice the future. And my mom and dad moved to Detroit with a dream of making a better life for the family, and they ended up working in the auto industry. And I want to just play this video for you to give you a sense of the Detroit. I know you may have, heard some things about us in the media. Oops. Okay, let's see. There we go.
When you've been a leader your entire life, you learn how to turn one day into day one. To do it first, to be an innovator, means you may stumble, you may fall, but relentless, you will move forward. Detroiters are born moving. Our wings have a deep history. Our roads pave the way for every future highway of tomorrow. An international hub full of vitality, of Michigan strength, from the global reach of techno and Motown to the powerful rev of our engines. From style trends to technology, Detroit is the starting line of the world's imagination. We are always shaping, moving, cultivating what's next. We are small business savvy and billion-dollar business bold. A state full of 230-foot pine trees and the summer destination of the monarch butterfly. Surrounded by the beauty of Great Lakes. Detroit is always growing, always always in flight. We don't wait for someone else to do it. We don't have time to stand still. Not everyone will understand our pace, but the baton was placed in our hands, so we're finishing strong. If this is home, you own the pearl. If you move here, you move the world. Who else to design the mobility of tomorrow besides the most resilient people on the planet? From custom-made bikes and shiny rims, autonomous vehicles and alternative energy. Mobility as a right in diverse cultural communities. Our land, the foundation of collective steel Michigan hands, holding up families, designing possibility, creating space. We are the solutionaries, forging our way toward the answers, a sacred historical place, fearlessly stepping up to the plate. We are infinite possibility, and our future can't wait. Detroiters have always kept this country moving. Our DNA connected to a passionate work ethic, and authenticity we earn from grandfathers and free-thinking.
Okay. So that actually, we shortened the video. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but it's okay. You got more of Detroit. And so I just wanted to show you this video. And Jessica Care Moore is Detroit's poet laureate. That was her voice that you heard. Just a brilliant poet. But the creativity that she talked about, the work ethic, the drive for innovation, the communal values were all ingrained from me, in me, from an early age. So, this is my mommy. My mom, every plan I ever had, my mom supported me. I wanted to play saxophone. She bought me a sax. I wanted to be in Glee Club, Brownie, you name it. I wanted to dance. She put me in ballet, tap, and jazz. Everything that I wanted to do, nothing was too far-fetched. And she made me think that I could do anything. And so did my teachers, counselors, and participation in school activities. I was a member of the African History Club in elementary school from 2nd through 5th grade. And there was a specific code of conduct and a charge that we had to live by to be a member. We had to agree to use knowledge of ourselves to benefit Black people. It was an incredibly powerful charge, and the club gave us a range of opportunities to practice our charge and also to try on these different futures for ourselves. I became the writer and editor of the newsletter you see here. I didn't know what I was doing, but I felt safe to make mistakes and to learn on the jobs. And getting that opportunity to practice really paid off in high school when I became the vice president of the senior class, the president of the National Honor Society, and the editor of the yearbook. So I took you back to my childhood just to show you that this is what informs my dreams and the research that I do, the teaching I do, the mentoring I do. In so many ways, I've been trying to recreate my upbringing in Detroit. And so my African American child development class at the University of Illinois and at USC, it requires a service learning component, a project where the student's mentor or tutor an African American K-12 student. I'll talk a little bit about how that service learning project in 2021 or 2020, because of COVID, transitioned into the Black Futures online tutoring program. And instead of just mentoring people in the LA area, we are able to reach young people across the country, although it's a very small number because it's one-on-one with my students. I'll walk you through how I design for justice and joy in the pop-up schools and app development boot camps. The co-founders of CTech, which is the School of Creativity and Technology. The co-founders and I conducted these pop-up schools leading up to submitting our charter petition in 2019, October of 2019. And then I'll talk to you about this participatory design research project called Critmatic. Okay, so we know that Black students have unique challenges. And my research on the Digital Equity Project showed that Black and Latinx students participating in a one-to-one program, technology program, in the same classes have different opportunities. Teachers did not believe Black students could learn computer science. And they demonstrated lowered expectations of Black students, and the instructor would actually say to the researchers' faces that Black students are not able to do anything. They're knuckleheads. They're slower than the other students, right? And also we found that when we talk to Black students about their daily experiences in schools on the West Coast, they talk about these heinous experiences just on a daily basis. One student said that when Black people would walk by this certain hallway, they would take the, the whip sound effect, and just, right? And so imagine the fear that, instilled in them. So we know all the stats, right? There's only 37% of Black students from the California Healthy Kids Survey report high levels of feeling happy, safe, connected, and supported. And they're least likely to report high levels of connectedness of all groups. 3 in 10 are performing on grade level, and only 2 in 10 for math. So that was for English. 3 in 10 for English and 2 in 10 for math. And they're most likely to attend schools that close. education and developmental scientists, they were adequately covering, racism in that young Black folks might experience in the theories that they were developing. But they, as of the publication of the 2023 Toward Developmental Science article that meets the challenges of 2044, there were no theories that describe and explain Black people's development with technology-enhanced environments that emphasize possible futures. We proposed Afrofuturist development, a theory, design lens, a praxis to fill this gap. Afrofuturist developmental uses of technology include but go beyond the transformational to experiences that are spirit-feeding and promotive of well-being. Okay, so this is a work in progress. Don't take pics of it. We're still working on it. You probably can't see the, I'll walk you through it. So Afrofuturist development theory explains how Black child, adolescent, and young adults can thrive across developmental outcomes and contexts. We draw from Genevieve Johnson's 2010 work extending Bronfenbrenner's ecological system theory to a techno-microsystem. She introduced this concept to provide insights into the mechanisms by which technology and the internet and internet use might contribute to an individual's development. Johnson suggests that outcomes such as physical, social, cognitive, and emotional development are the products of continual, spiraling interactions between individual characteristics and the use of technologies. These technologies can be used for the purposes of communication, recreation, and information across the child's immediate social context, including home and school. And Johnson's argument goes beyond the notion of bidirectional relationships between an individual and their environment, suggesting that all these environments are interacting with each other and the individual simultaneously when technology is involved. Afrofuturist development argues these spiraling interactions between the individual, technology, and their environment are inherently racialized. Black children and young people need tools to counter, resist, critique, navigate, cope, and create despite the racism built into technologies. Their family, communities, and schools play integral roles in this process. Family strengths such as adaptability of family roles and parent socialization, racial socialization, for example, can dramatically shape young people's online schooling and work experiences. And so we added a few components to Dr. Johnson's model. And so we think just so beyond like physical, I think she had physical, cognitive, emotional, social. We added spiritual. We added the linguistic, and we added the future self and the future world that people want to create. We also, there's the ring that's tilted to the left. That's the where we have most of the Afrofuturist development components that should be in place if you want to promote Black thrival, and they include future design and practice, ingenuity, systems of equity, Black history knowledge, right, and resistance. Oh, and meeting young people's developmental needs. Okay. So I'm just going to walk you through a couple of the principles of Afrofuturist development and provide a few examples. And so these are outlined in the 2023 Tynes et al. Manuscript. And we argue that contexts in which children and young people learn, play, and work center their full humanity, as well as foster Black aliveness and innovations of speculative futures void of oppression. And that is just, so we're arguing in line with other scholars that Black cultural practices, including their spirituality, for centuries have continued to fuel their survival and thrival through community engagement, resource sharing, and fostering hope. Our idea of full humanity takes into account the idea that all Black people, all genders, sexual orientations, ability groups, religions, and SES backgrounds are made, as Shonda Prescott Weinstein notes, of the same stardust and deserve to live in their fullness. Kevin Quashie argues that aliveness is a way of being or imagined reality where Black people are human without qualification, where anti-Blackness is not the sum of who they are, and where they are worthy as they are. And so that was the idea, the main drivers, sort of the thinking about a space, a school where Black people, Black students could be seen in their full humanity. We came up with the charter petition to include everyone. It wasn't just focused on Black people, because we knew we couldn't get that through the system, but if we are seeing the full humanity of Black students, then that will benefit other people in the space. And so Margot Randolph is the first person. She's an MIT grad. She had a degree in mathematics. She also went to USC. Kiana Patterson had an MBA. She has an MBA. And we all joined forces in 2017, to try to start CTEC. We had the parent focus groups. We wanted to just see what they imagined would be most important for a school that, that their students could attend and thrive in. We also did these pop-up schools where students could join us for a day, and the events would focus on engineering design, app development, entrepreneurship, and robotics. These pop-up schools were glorious, and not because I participated in them, because the kids creativity was off the charts. It was like you could feel the energy bouncing off the wall. There was a group of Black boys in the entrepreneurship session. I didn't teach that one. But they created a whole company that basically it was called X-Cop. I won't give too much of the details because these kids could be, going to high school or college right now and actually do this idea. So they created a company that would make it so that cops would stop killing Black people. And so basically they could, from their car, see what was in the car and don't have to come and, harass people and, do other things or worse, right? So just incredibly creative. Every single student. Every student was that creative. We had a young Afro-Latina who wanted to create a more user-friendly WebMD so that more people could have access and find it useful. And then we had a young girl, this warmed my heart. She decided to, and she didn't know about my love of history, she decided she wanted to create an African history app because she didn't have African history in her school, right? And so we had people go through, it was like school, and one student said, this is like school, but it's fun. And so, together we would come up with the norms for participation, and I would always make sure that being creative was on there. And I also would stress that, they should have fun. This should be a fun experience, right? And so, the kids we would have, I guess it would be 10 to, I think, 3 or so that we would work together. Some kids were so intense, they didn't even want to take a break. It was like, no, I'm gonna finish my app. And so we would get them to sketch, to basically brainstorm about their idea. Then they would sketch a paper and pencil prototype, and then they would actually create the design in Bubble, a no-code app. And so they had a landing page, some of them working landing pages by the end of the day. And it really broke my heart because none of this creativity is being, taken up in schools. Not being assessed. So I would have music and dance breaks. So the dancing was to enhance their creativity and to basically promote a community. And also, it turns out, it was to laugh at me when I didn't get the moves right. But hey, I was like, okay, can you do it better? Can you move better than me? Come up and show me. And so we would just laugh. There was so much joy in the room every time we were together. So one of my kids in the pop-up schools, his name was Kamarion, a beautiful, beautiful soul. He was also super creative that day and got his landing page done. He asked great questions. And after he left, he told his mom, he just kept talking about his experience. And so when he passed away peacefully in his sleep, later that year, his mom asked me to speak at his funeral. That is the kind of connection, the kind of, interaction that I'm most proud of. It's not the grants, it's not, this obituary is a prized possession. And so my hope is that we do finally get to ensure that more kids in the LA area get to witness what we've created. Okay, so as a part of my African American child development class, where we learned about Black family relationships, peer relationships, of course I have to incorporate history, and then media stereotypes, and I just take them through a semester of Black child and adolescent development. And a part of the class is tutoring a young person and applying what they learned to the young person that they're mentoring. And so each week, they would tell us what challenges that they had. We'd work through them together, and it turned out that we had parents reporting that their young people dramatically improved in in math or whatever subject that they were tutoring in, because we matched the kids based on their expertise. And I think what the most important thing here is that the tutors were trained in Black child development, right? And so they're able to see the young people they were tutoring in their full humanity. Okay, I'm gonna actually keep going. Now let's skip over that and talk about arithmetic. My pride and joy in terms of research projects right now. So the project is essentially drawing on all of my 11 years of seemingly disparate coursework in Black studies, psychology, child development, sociology, courses on race and racism, learning sciences, to create a digital literacy and mental health platform that not only teaches the regular skills that you would need to successfully navigate digital spaces, but we have critical race digital literacy skills that helps people to critique racism that they may experience online. And a huge part of the platform is making sure that young people have the coping skills that they need to, and also the Black history knowledge that they need to place the messages that they receive online, especially the negative race-related messages, in historical context. And we think what that will do is to help young people, it'll be like a buffer, right? So the negative outcomes that are typically associated with seeing racist images, like hangings, or seeing someone like represented as an animal, right? We tell them, oh, this has been done before historically, and they've used these types of images to justify slavery. And when they understand that, then the image loses its power. Okay. So how am I doing on time? Am I? $10 minutes? Okay. So the platform also teaches people that technological ingenuity and spiritual power are parts of every Black person's heritage, and their creativity, imagination, and innovation are a part of who they are. But we have to do little convincing with our co-designers. Just like our students from the pop-up schools, their creativity and academic spirits soar. Again, just bouncing off the wall in our design meetings. And I should also note that our definition of technology spans a range of traditional and non-traditional, and includes spiritual technology, such as the clandestine coding of slave songs. Platform users learn about how the Dogon, for example, who are people from Mali, had vast knowledge of the universe, including the Sirius star system, which predates modern technology. They have ample opportunities to learn critical race digital literacy and in developmentally appropriate ways, and they'll be successful at resisting and critiquing oppressive media, technology, institutions, and social practices. So one example, we would have an exercise where young people would do an analysis of the whitewashing of the texts that they might be using. We also have the platform. This is actually a small bit of a prototype for Cryptmatic, and sort of cut off here, but we have toolkits where people can plan their future physical and mental well-being. And in the toolkit, they will have like meditation practices, encouraging music, healing music. And I think that might be our most exciting feature. We also want people to know that they have the power to bend reality in some ways and to create the future that they want to create. And so it's a part of the platform. They will hear it often, the power of their mind to create, to design the future. So this is Ruby Dee, the actor, playwright, civil rights activist. So there's a long list. So this is an example of music, because we play music during our design meetings. Some of them are virtual. And this is an example of a clip that I would show people. It's called To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. And basically, at our next meeting, I want to prompt people with this video and ask them how they're going to use their gifts to get through these next few years. Oops. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's okay. It started from the beginning. Sorry. Okay. Next time. Okay, so I'll just conclude by saying that I appreciate you sort of thinking with me today on this topic. It's the first time I'm actually presenting on it. And I'm hoping that moving forward that as researchers, teachers, and administrators, we're thinking about the research that we're doing. We're thinking about the people we have on our teams. We're making sure that the folks, if you're an administrator, that you're hiring teachers who are culturally competent, who can actually, center a young Black student's culture, who can basically, who doesn't have a lot of, folks have are anti-Black, but don't realize it. But we would want somebody who has the self-awareness to challenge their own biases when they're dealing with young people. And so we again have this opportunity to design for justice and joy, and it's going to require that we radically shift how we are training the people who are doing the research, who are administrators, who are our teachers. So next steps, we are going to launch Critmatic by spring of 2025, and finally try to get our charter petition approved or go private if anybody wants to give us some money. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
We thank you very much for sharing your research and your ideas and challenging our thinking about imagining for joy and creativity as we seek justice. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure to mention to you that this presentation, the Mitstifer lecture, is brought to you by Penn State. So if there are any Penn Staters in the room, I would like to acknowledge. And we thank you not only for their support there, but also for the social justice research that takes place at Penn State. All right, so we are moving forward. This is the kickoff, looking for opportunities to find joy, and in each presentation, a little conversation. We were very excited to receive so many proposals around these two topics, and I think you're going to have a very rich conference. Take advantage of the many opportunities that are available to you in each session, yes, as a learning project, but also in the many activities that the committee has planned for you to find joy in LA. Have a good afternoon.